Obviously, I'm not the first person to talk about this, but I would just like to give some insight on what I personally think about the show. Again, it's nothing new. This show's old news at this point. We were gifted this beautiful piece of garbage in late 2020, maybe early 2021. I don't remember. I've honestly had some serious PTSD after finding clips for this video here today. I'm genuinely sick of it already, and I've only been finding clips to edit. I've also recorded this like 4 times, so if I run through this fast, it's because I'm sick of talking about the same thing over and over again. Now, I think that this show is flat out overhated. It's not good by any means, let me be clear about that. And whereas I'm not going to defend it like I did Boruto, because I do think Boruto at least has some good to it, this show is pretty much all bad. It could have been so much better if it wasn't Cowboy Bebop, and let me explain what I mean by that. This show is supposed to be a remake of Cowboy Bebop, and the opening scene of the first episode actually is. That one is, and there's a few plots, like the one with the red eye, those are all the same. But the problem is that they mess up so many of the characters like Vicious and Ed. It's just, I don't understand what they were thinking, especially characters like Faye. They just changed so much about them that I don't understand why. Now, characters like Faye I can kind of see because they probably just made her gay to appeal to more people, since it is Netflix after all. I understand that, but I think it just gives a weird piece of her character that I couldn't care less about. Honestly, I'd never really cared about Faye. I mean, I did in the anime, but we didn't really get a lot of backstory in the Netflix show, so I don't understand her character enough to care. I couldn't care less if she's gay. There's just nothing to like about her. She's really just a prick in the Netflix show. And then there's times with like Jet, with his whole daughter thing, where she was really just introduced as a plot device for the end. I really don't care about him, and I think they did a good job with this sort of backstory episode with that one cop guy, who I can't remember his name. But the whole thing with his daughter is blown so out of proportion, I just don't understand it, and I don't care about it enough. Especially this whole thing with like a rival cop. I can't find any clips of it because I don't remember his name, but yeah, there's that as well. I really do like the cinematography of the show. I love the way it looks. It almost feels a little bit like Star Wars in a Western show. I really do love it, and it reminds me a lot of the anime of Cowboy Bebop, where it's just space cowboys. There's nothing more to it than that. I guess space gangsters. If they had just made a show about space gangsters and not called it Cowboy Bebop, this show would have been perfect. They could have written their own characters, their own stories, and obviously they could have copied Cowboy Bebop, but I would have been less upset about that. Do we even want a dominatrix? Did anybody ask for that? I can't even show a video of that on YouTube, but like, did we need this? There's a lot of things I do understand why they changed, like the teddy bear bomber, because honestly that kind of makes sense. And some of the other villains got minor tweaks here and there, and I do admire their dedication in that sense, because they did a pretty good job with that. But again, I really do think if they had just tried to make their own show and not Cowboy Bebop, this would have been so much cooler. I'm not hating on the actors or anything like that, because I know all of them did their best, and a lot of them talked about how much they loved the original show. And I really do think that honestly they did a fine job. I'm not blaming their acting. I'm blaming the fact that someone in their right mind wrote scripts, directed this. I don't know who. I can't be bothered to look it up. But honestly, this show just felt like a mistake so much. There was nothing to love about it. The best parts about it were some of the fight scenes. And that's pretty good. They're all pretty good. I like that part. But just the dialogue feels awkward and stale.
Shower, bath, shower. It's how you clean yourself.
So finally, he took off his balls. He did it to send a message.
But yeah, all of that aside, I think that this show could have been so much cooler if it just wasn't Cowboy Bebop and it just was its own thing. There's not really much that could save it, and I'm glad that there was no second season, because honestly, I don't think I could stomach that. I could barely stomach finding clips for this video. It brought back horrible flashbacks. And that's about it. See ya.